Hi, I'm Megan, and I am here to welcome you to my channel. Welcome to my table. I want to start off by just giving a little background on what I have here, and how this kind of all started. I was guided or led to track comet 3IAtlas, not only as astronomy but as prophecy, translating its path through the zodiac into symbols and stories of our time. So I just wanted to look at it from an astrological perspective and through the lens of astronomy and science. So by converting 3IAtlas's orbital path into zodiac degrees and overlaying them with Sabian symbols, specifically Linda Hill's 360 Degrees of Wisdom book, a great book, highly recommend, I discovered that each planetary alignment of Atlas creates a kind of portal, each one carrying a symbolic teaching. In this reading, I am going to explore those portals one planet at a time, and together we can weave a story, part astronomy, part prophecy, that guides us through the shift we're living right now, writing a story we are now being asked to live. And this is the Atlas series. So I went ahead and I pulled cards for for Atlas and each of the planets that's going to be making alignments with. So let me just explain a little bit on how I did that and what I found. So 3IAtlas will be perihelion on roughly October 29th, 2025. That's when it's the closest to our sun and it's the most energized and activated. It's coming in at about 10 degrees 30 minutes, and so for Sabian symbols we round that up, and it's going to be Libra 11 degrees. So I've anchored all the other placements around that point because it's when Atlas is going to be the loudest and brightest. Then at that time, so based off that, I looked at what planets it's aspecting, which was Venus, Mars, Sun, Jupiter, Uranus, and Pluto. I pulled the Sabians for those to get the full prophecy arc. And so when I looked at the Sabian symbol for Atlas at Libra 11 degrees, and that Sabian symbol reads, a professor peering over his glasses at his students. Okay. Then, let's see, the next, I have stuff written down, so I'm kind of like, there's just so much information here, and I just want to get it all out in the most concise way. All right, so next we're looking at Venus. It's making a conjunction with Venus at 3 degrees Libra. And the heading for that is the dawn of a new day reveals everything has changed. We start with Atlas here. This was the card I pulled. I pulled from the Elemental Oracle deck. This was the card for Atlas. I pulled it through the lens, with the lens in mind of how it was the Sabian symbol, a professor peering over his glasses at his students. Then I pulled for the Venus portal here at Libra 3 degrees, which is the dawn of a new day reveals everything changed. It's making a conjunction to Atlas, so that's Venus. Those are the cards for the Venus portal. These are the two cards for the Mars portal. Mars is going to be conjunct Atlas at 22 degrees Libra, which is a child giving birds a drink at a fountain. And then here we have the Sun portal, these two cards. It's going to be semi-sextile the Sun at Scorpio 7 degrees, deep sea divers with special machinery. Yep, the Sun portal here. Okay. Then we're going to be looking at the Jupiter portal here at Cancer. It's making a square at Cancer 23 degrees, which is the meeting of a study group or literary society. Here we have the Saturn portal. It's a quincunx Atlas at Pisces 26 degrees. A new moon reveals that it's time for people to go ahead with their different projects. It's going to be trine Uranus at Gemini 2 degrees, which is a nervous gentleman dressed in an elaborate Santa Claus costume is filling Christmas stockings secretly. And then lastly, it's going to be making a trine to Pluto in Aquarius at 2 degrees, which is an unexpected thunderstorm. So I went ahead and I pulled 2 cards for each planetary portal. And I was asking so for each of the cosmic portals, I used the Mystical Martian deck, or Mystic Martian deck, or whatever. And the questions I asked were, those cards were from like a cosmic perspective. So the cosmic teaching through that portal, through that lens of understanding. I used the Mystical Martian deck for the cosmic teachings of Atlas. And then I pulled from the Galactic Star Tarot for how we anchor those cosmic energies on Earth through 3IAtlas. So this was the card I pulled for Atlas itself. I thought it just needed one card. Didn't need one. I looked at the Sabian symbols before I pulled the cards. So I think it came in as the teacher. It's coming in at Libra 11 degrees, which the Sabian symbol is a professor peering over his glasses at his students, which is talking about our lens of perception. Are we looking at things with the right lens? Are we looking at things with both of our rational mind and our intuitive mind? I got the download that it's more than just an interstellar object. I pulled. So I said, what cosmic teaching does Atlas bring? This is what I asked the cards. So I realized Atlas is coming in as a teacher, it appears, based on the Sabian symbol oracle and just some of my intuitive guidance. I was already feeling that that there's something coming that's going to teach us and help us grow as humans. And that could be Atlas. And so when I looked at these symbols, the Sabian symbols, it kind of reinstated that. But anyways, so I asked the cards, I said, what cosmic teaching does Atlas bring? And out came this card here, number 43, Alchemy Magic card. Already, what is Atlas bringing to us? Atlas is bringing magic, okay? Alchemy onto Earth, magic onto Earth. It's asking that we converge science and spirit. It's a cosmic gift. It's being delivered into human hands here, see? Also, I don't know if you can tell on the cards, but this side is kind of like a bluish. This is kind of red. It's more of that duality, more of that merging of the two, right? The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, just the Trinity, the Holy Trinity. And then 4 is card number 43. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 is the bridge between heaven and earth, okay? So this felt really poignant to get this card, and you can see it's such a beautiful card. It's bright and light, and it's just like, what a beautiful card to represent Atlas itself, I thought. It's like, what is Atlas teaching us? It's teaching us the magic, that we can bring magic here on Earth, okay? It's carrying encoded plasma light data beyond current scientific instruments, but perceivable to consciousness. I mean, that's kind of like, everything is magic to us until science can prove it. Like, until science has like a way to understand the language of what this thing is, we just look at it like magic, like look at quantum theory and all of that stuff. So the angel in the hands too, which I thought was really interesting, is how ancients often describe comets as messengers. They were the delivery back in ancient times. They saw comets as the delivery of divine seeds from the cosmos, which is like, and Atlas is like, yeah, hi, I'm here. I'm as the teacher to deliver this divine seed to you. If you only, for those, if you're ready to receive, if you're ready, see how the hands are kind of receiving. I don't know. It's almost like they're receiving, but are they also giving? I mean, that's part of that balance. So I think it's coming in to teach us about the laws of cosmic balance and duality and magic, that there's more than meets the eye, just like there's more to this comment, I think, than we really know. It's saying perception must shift. Humanity is being pushed to stop dividing rational and mythical, to see plasma physics, sacred geometry, and alchemy are different languages for the same truth. So it's just about bridging that spirit and science, which I really feel like it's just missing. It's like bringing the soul back to science, because those things were never meant to be separate. Okay? They were meant to be joined together. You know? It's the start of something big. So in a nutshell, Atlas is teaching us science without soul is incomplete. Spirit without grounded inquiry is untethered. And only by weaving can humanity perceive, by weaving the both, can humanity perceive the full spectrum of truth. It seems too, the way through this portal that Atlas is bringing us is through magic and levity and a light-footed and open and curious mind. So then we go into the Venus portal here. I asked from the Mystic March. So the Venus portal is the dawn of a new day reveals everything has changed. So through that lens, I asked the Mystic Martian deck, what cosmic energy initiates the dawn? What is the galactic transmission of that? So first of all, the Sabian for the dawn of a new day reveals everything says, times change and we change with them. New perspectives, new realizations, collective waking up, the dawn. Like when you're, a lot of people wake up at the dawn of the day. Radical shifts, day to day shifts, not just like long shifts that we see over time, like radical shifts every day. It can also feel sometimes like things just going on and on and on. So through that lens of major shifts in attitude and the dawn and the waking up, I asked, what cosmic energy is going to initiate this dawn, this waking up? And what card that came out was number 40, the water element, which represents reflection, kindness, compassion, sensitivity, the healing power of empathy. So to me, it's this, through Venus, Atlas is saying and is asking us to return to softness, to allow feelings to guide perception. The water element reminds us that life is not solved by force, but by flowing with the currents of life. Venus speaks through kindness, subtle gestures of care, through connection that nourishes. This card is Venus reminding us that reflection and compassion are portals to higher states of love. So I thought that was really, I was like, okay, yeah, that seems very Venusian to me. I mean, it's a water element card, but that seems very like the very nice, loving side of Venus, saying, reflect with kindness and compassion. There are ways that we can initiate the dawn energy of awakening. And then next I asked, how can we embody that here? So we use the Galactic Star Tarot. Here is the card I pulled, asking, how do we embody that cosmic energy on Earth? And so what came out was the Page of Wands. And I just this is just, to me, it weaves this really beautiful story. So the Page of Wands, here we have a young feline holding a staff crowned with a lion head. We have curiosity, playfulness. Also, you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but he or she is looking up at this staff. It's almost like looking at their full-grown self, their higher self, this pink like cosmic dust that's like going between them. The page looks up. It's to his higher self, the mature lion at the top. Seeing what it can become. The pink stardust between them here is the Venusian frequency of unconditional love as the bridge between human self and divine self, more of that bridge. So it's asking us, how can we embody that here on earth? We can become curious again, be tender with your own growth, let wonder guide you. This isn't Venus in her hardened transactional face. This is Venus in her childlike, heart wide open aspects. She's playful, creative, and deeply relational. Reflect on what love means and then live it with innocence and creativity. Move from your heart and flow, not from fear. Recognize your higher self is guiding you. Using love as a creative force is like another way. Compassion is not passive. It is the fire that births new worlds. Let your curiosity about love and beauty guide you into your next octave of being. Look up. The higher self, look up. The higher self is already in communion with you. See? Even if you're just starting to recognize it, it's there. All right, and so next we have the Mars portal. Mars is making a conjunction to Atlas at Libra 22, a child giving birds a drink at a fountain. And so that Sabian symbol asks us to maintain our innocence and openness of a child. We're back to this. Moments of innocence, spontaneity, fun, enjoying interactions with people, random acts of kindness, just giving freely and unconditionally, with little expectation of something in return. Just a really pure, so through that lens, I asked the Mystic Martian deck, what cosmic perspective, Atlas, what cosmic perspective softens the masculine? Mars, masculine. And out came the Galactic Federation card, which speaks to collaboration, meetings, community. And to me, this card was just mirroring Mars's highest potential, which is saying warriors can fight, warriors are fighting only under necessary, when it's necessary, and under the higher law and service to all. So it's looking at Mars through its highest octave, which is a collaborative leadership. If a fight were necessary, it's because it's service to all, but not just going out there and instead of domination. The Galactic Federation card here is asking us to channel that energy into strength of collaboration, diplomacy, and shared responsibility. It's Mars is asking us to graduate from that lone soldier, protector of the whole galaxy, through cooperation. Mars realizes its strength comes from belonging to a larger mission and working with allies. So we're softening Mars by coming at it through more of a strength in numbers, strength at being a part of something bigger than yourself, and not this individual quest for dominion. It's building partnerships and collaboration. So that's what Mars is initiating, not annihilating in this energy. And then I asked, how can we purify this energy on Earth? Like, how can we bring this new initiatory Mars energy down? Less toxic version of Mars to Earth. And out came the Magician. And so the Magician is the earthy purification of this energy. Raw Mars can be reckless and aggressive, and here it's disciplined into mastery and creation. The Magician takes that raw Mars energy and channels it with focus, intention, precision. It's the power to be creative and to create and not destroy. To create through collaboration, not through destruction. That's what the Atlas portal of Mars is asking us to do. It's teaching humanity through Atlas that force alone is not the way forward. Power softens through innocence. It evolves through cooperation. which is the Galactic Federation card, and it purifies on Earth by becoming the magician, the one who directs willpower consciously, turning energy into creation instead of conflict. The Mars portal is asking us to move from aggression to cooperation, from fighting to protecting. The warriors serve the whole, not the self, and on Earth, this purifies through the magician, who wields power as creation, not destruction. And look, but look at all that it's creating. It's so beautiful. These cards, they're so fun. All right. So next we have the sun, and the sun is going to be semi-sextile Atlas at Scorpio 7 degrees, which is deep sea divers with special machinery. The Sabian here says, go where others fear to tread. There's a special trust that deep divers must have here with their machinery. I mean, yeah, because when you're diving that deep, you know, going where no one has gone before, you need to be able to rely on those tools, because if they malfunction or things break, you could die. So it's about having that trust, needing to go below the surface to know what's going on, which is also back to this water card here with compassion, right? You may feel pressure, the water, which is, you know, obviously being underwater feels. So these are like, this was the Sabian symbol, what it said: awe and wonder in this new territory with a new awareness and so much promise, uncovering wonders, new levels, remembering your special machinery, which can help in the other world, resurfacing without barnacles and burden, which I thought was interesting too, because back to the water card, look at, there are no barnacles on her, and she looks burden-free, in my opinion. She's reflecting with kindness and compassion, you know, using all those teachings. So now at the sun, with that lens of deep diving with my special machinery, I asked the Mystical Martian deck, what truth shines from the depths? What truth shines from the depths? So out came the fire card, which is warrior, passion, fearlessness. It's the power of transformation. Fire clears, burns, illuminates. It's the raw life force. I mean, it's funny that I'm also pulling this for the literal sun. This is the sun portal. In the imagery, the woman is bending backwards, as you can see here. Her posture is vulnerable yet strong. It's like saying, I will not resist the fire. I will embody it. So if we're asking what truth shines from the depths, I think Atlas is saying our deepest power shines when we stop resisting flames of transformation, right? When we more going with the flow. Our inner fire, our solar engine, the divine spark that lets us descend into depths without being consumed. So then I asked, well, how do we anchor this truth daily, you know, here on Earth? And I got the Page of Swords. And so that's curiosity, learning, observing, wielding truth with discernment. So it's saying in every day we can anchor this through the mindset of the curious warrior. Asking questions, staying alert, seeking truth even in the shadows, and not being afraid to look deeper. Use the machinery of your sword of discernment, clarity of mind, not to attack, but to cut through confusion and fear. This was another interesting observation. The upward triangle of the fire card here, and then the downward triangle of the water card, they make a star tetrahedron, which is the balance of fire, water, spirit, matter, masculine, feminine. So it seems like, you know, so far Atlas is kind of talking to us about balancing of the masculine and feminine and softening up the masculine a bit, because I think maybe it's saying as society we're starting to tip a little bit too far one way. The sun is saying, embody light. You must master both ascent and descent, courage in the flames, and clarity in the depths. So we can anchor this daily with the Page of Swords by staying curious, sharp. We don't shy away from new learning or peering what others fear. Truth that shines from the depths. The sun's fire reveals your inner warrior spirit. Fearlessness and passion are not about domination, but surrendering to transformation. The fire is your special machinery. It lets you descend into darkness and still radiate light. So we're going to, Atlas is asking us to approach life like a student or a warrior, asking questions, speaking truth, cutting through illusions, anchoring the sun's fearless truth by engaging actively with what is really happening, not hiding, not numbing, but looking directly at the depths and naming what you see. With compassion, with kindness, with reflection, with curiosity, right? With cooperation. It's a rite of passage. Atlas says, you don't anchor the sun by being comfortable. You anchor it by daring to go where others won't go, by holding your sword steady in the storm, by embodying both flame and clarity. Next, I looked at the Jupiter portal. And at Jupiter's making a square to Atlas at Cancer 23 degrees, the meeting of a study group or literary society. So what cosmic wisdom expands is what I asked. And, well, first let me tell you what the Sabian symbol means. So that Sabian symbol is about finding the best way to analyze, direct, or describe something, create better understanding for others. If you have something to say, say it. Shared knowledge, written word, print media, meetings, is keeping the old world so necessary? Why are we, learn how the minds work and why it's convinced certain tasks, yes, like keeping the old world together is so necessary. So to me, it says collective uplift through shared truth. So through that lens, I said, what cosmic wisdom expands through Atlas? And I got this card, the Łฮ่뾱Ꭴ, I think is how you pronounce it, which is resilient, bold, sassy. I liked that. So it's saying to me, be outspoken, truth-telling, say what needs to be said, especially when silence enables manipulation. Wisdom is expanded when truth is spoken bluntly, when voices are not muted, when resilience becomes the foundation for collective study. Don't just sit around analyzing, speak it, write it, publish it, declare it. The Łฮ่뾱Ꭴ remind us that study and shared knowledge are not passive activities, but weapons of light against manipulation, courage to voice your truth publicly, unflinchingly, and with conviction. Truth is not optional. It is essential to survival. Is what I got through this lens. And then so I asked, how do we gather and share that on Earth? And so out came the Nine of Wands. You know, in other decks, I guess he's like the wounded warrior. And so here, we're talking about endurance. This man is standing, weary but unbroken, reflecting. And so Jupiter calls to keep showing up for the work of the sharing. Oh, there's my cat. Hi. Hi. Hey, baby. Sorry about that. So, where was I? My cat got me all... So yes, so the Nine of Wands is the endurance. We are standing weary and unbroken, and Jupiter is calling us to keep showing up for the work of the sharing, even when tired. With the Łฮ่뾱Ꭴ's card, it says, this is a long battle of ideas, of perception, of narrative, and you don't stop because you're weary. You pass the torch, you guard the flame, and you hold the line until others join in. The mission is nearly complete. Speak and write new truths, even if you feel tired of repeating yourself, because this is the last stretch and the study group is waiting. the messages that came through for this were just so beautiful. And it just, so Atlas through Jupiter's lens is saying, speak truth boldly, keep holding the line, and trust that your voice, joined with others in the greater cosmic study group that's writing the new human story. This portal opens when bold truth is spoken and collective wisdom is shared. It's not enough to analyze or discuss privately. The knowledge must be voiced, written, and preserved for others. In doing so, you join the cosmic study group that spans star systems and lifetimes. Speak boldly, endure faithfully, and gather the study group of souls who will carry this truth forward. You are not alone. The Society of Speakers is already convening. And so next we have the Saturn portal. And Saturn will be quincunx Atlas at Pisces 26 degrees. A new moon reveals that it's time for people to go ahead with their different projects. So that is emergence of new possibilities, new horizons, divergence, people splitting into new paths, cycles close, new ones open. It can also warn of isolation. So I asked cosmically, what cosmic structures are dissolving? And I got this card, 18 Sirians A. And that card is talking about the Sirians bring in a tide of soul deep restructuring. What structures no longer serve? The structure of emotional separation. Competition and abandonment must dissolve. For eons, humanity has survived by splintering, each individual or group going their own way. When challenges arise, Sirians remind in cosmic order, water holds everything. It does not splinter, but flows. The false walls that cut us off emotionally are crumbling. So it's more of this energy of like collaborating, doing things differently than we've been doing, working together as teams. You know, not individualizing ourselves, but trying to come together in harmony. We don't want to cut ourselves off from that connection with other people. And so I asked then, how do Earth projects branch forward then through this? And I got the Three of Discs, which is collaboration and skill sharing, co-creation. So the branching forward of projects isn't solitary, but synergistic, like the Sirians say, like Mars is saying. We're standing shoulder to shoulder, pooling gifts, creating something greater than anyone alone. The directive is to build, not walls, but bridges, again to that, of collaboration across emotional currents through integration, mutual support, and shared effort. The old Saturnian model of isolation, hierarchy, every man for himself, dissolves. The new structure The new structure is fluid collaboration where individuals bring their unique projects, but weave them together like threads on one fabric. Trust letting go of old ways, and just trust that it will make space for new forms of togetherness. I noticed the dual moons too on these cards. I thought was interesting. So that kind of echoes the Sabian symbol of the new moon energy, which is, parallel perspectives, not one truth, but many truths coexisting. Also brings back to this, like the duality, things are not one way, and everything's not so black and white, one way or the other. All things can be true. We're blending them together into one coexisting perspective. So the Saturnian portal is telling us the cosmic structure dissolving is the illusion of separation. The wall you sensed is the old Piscean fog, encouraging martyrdom, withdrawal, and loneliness. What replaces it is the Syrian style collaboration, honesty, art, transparent teamwork. The Earth projects branch forward when we stop thinking survival means going it alone. Survival, this survival on Earth is dependent on our I'm having a hard time getting it out. It's a lot of energy. So we move forward not by fragmentation, but by pooling skills together and honoring each other's gifts and building new structures together. So more of that. Then we have the Uranus portal. So Uranus is trine Atlas at Gemini 2 degrees. This one is funny. A nervous gentleman dressed in an elaborate Santa Claus costume is filling Christmas stockings secretly. So that means wishes fulfilled, receiving from unknown sources, giving with no expectation. What would happen if we turned on the lights? We might be like a little, like, what are all these gifts? Where are they coming from? Like, you hear someone rustling around in your house like Santa Claus, and you're wondering, well, who is that? What is that noise? And sometimes when you turn on the lights, it's like, oh, that's just Santa leaving me gifts. No big deal. So it's about kind of that energy. Are these safe gifts? Are there risks? So I asked, from through the Uranus lens, what cosmic surprises may appear? What cosmic surprises appear through Atlas? And I got this card, the Shadow Self, number 36, denial, projecting, shame. So from this portal comes a strange blessing wrapped in disguise. The Santa figure, uneasy in his mask, right, reflects the cosmos, how the cosmos often deliver gifts through unexpected forms, sometimes unsettling, sometimes absurd, sometimes wearing the face of the very thing we fear. The Shadow Self rises here at, yes, I thought this looked like Krampus. And I was like, how funny that the Sabian symbol talks about Santa, and then the card that comes out, it looks like Krampus. It's like turning the light on, you know, on what's really out, what's really there, leaving that noise and bringing that gift, you know. Sometimes they come in unexpected ways. So the Shadow Self rises here as this Krampus figure, the hidden twin of the generous giver, right? Reminding us what appears as punishment, shame, or projection is often the very medicine that frees us. The surprise of Uranus is this: your hidden wounds, denied aspects, and shadowed conflicts are not curses but gifts. They are stockings stuffed by the unseen hand of spirit, left quietly in the night of your psyche. And then next I asked the Galactic Star Tarot, how do we recognize these hidden gifts? And out came the Five of Wands. So how do we recognize these gifts? The Five of Wands reveals how these gifts surface through tension, through conflict, friction, indifference. The clashes that irritate you, the projections that sting, the arguments that unsettle, they're all catalysts. When you remain present in struggle, you pierce the mask and discover treasure in the shadow. What once felt like chaos becomes the ground of your awakening. So in a nutshell, Uranus is saying, Atlas is saying through Uranus, through the trine, which is, you know, a trine is a good aspect, smooth, empowerment, natural flow. Atlas is saying the gift is not what you expect. It comes through the cracks, through discomfort, through the shadow, through the shadows you tried to bury. Trust the conflict as an opportunity. Trust the tension as a spark of illumination. What looks like Krampus may be Santa in disguise, delivering precisely what your soul asked for. So maybe a change of perspective, right? I mean, it's also maybe like seeing how these shadow things pop up, these tensions, these arguments, and catalysts, like, and trying to see them as the lessons that they are, you know, lessons of self-discovery, and not, you know, looking at them through chaos, and trying to be calm through that and integrate them in a balanced way. So lastly, Atlas is going to be making a trine to Pluto at Aquarius 2. an unexpected thunderstorm. So that says sudden, out of the blue, storms, clearing of energetic buildup can leave us with a sense of awe and wonder, sudden visitation of natural wonder, things erupting and happening fast. Literally, the Tower card is what I was seeing. Shock, raw energy, clouds that thunder, that do not... Yeah, clouds that thunder. They don't always rain, right? So, listen, we asked, what cosmic purge erupts? And out came this card, vegan, solitude, independent, peace. So, do not feed the chaos, is what I'm seeing. In the eye of upheaval, choose neutrality. Pluto's clearing the way, the old structures of dependency, interference, and loss of inner agency. Choose neutrality instead of constant polarization. Vegans show peace in an active stance of strength that dissolves the old addiction to struggle. In the eye of upheaval, right? Choose neutrality. Like I said, strength is not striking back, right? We're not doing it that way anymore, right? That's what Mars is saying. We're doing it through collaboration, through community, through meetings, through decisive action, intentional action. It's heart aligned. The Vegans card here is asking us to resist being pulled into destruction. The purge is the passage, the thunder, the teaching. Do not fear the storm, become the stillness within it. And from that stillness rises one who no longer seeks the fire, but carries it unshaken. The storm is your initiation, right? The page becomes the king. I love how this just all like came out like this. And so then, in essence, cosmically, the purge that erupts is the illusion of control through conflict. What remains is inner sovereignty and the right to choose peace. How do we ground and rebuild after the storm? And out came the King of Wands, which I thought was here we have the page, right? At the beginning of this, and at the end, we have the King of Wands, the matured page, the young seeker of fire, now seated in authority. We don't rush in to hold the falling bricks of structures that are falling, right? We step into the role of the one who carries the flame, who directs the energy with integrity, who inspires others to rise. Taking the lesson of solitude from the vegans here and turning it outward as creative leadership, becoming a calm center for others to trust in the storm, right? Like a lighthouse. Stand in vision, inspiring others with clarity, confidence, and creative command. The storm settles the old, the king directs the new flame. This portal speaks of the final initiation from conflict into sovereignty, from noise into creative authority. The purge is the end of the false entanglement. The rebuilding is the birth of visionary leadership. Together they mark the threshold of a new fire. Yes, a new fire, carried forward with courage, focus, and unshakable peace. So in home, the journey that began with the Page of Wands, the young lion cub gazing upward at the staff of fire, finds its fulfillment in the King of Wands, crowned and enthroned at Pluto's final portal. This arc is not incidental. It is the hidden backbone of the Atlas initiatory sequence. Initiatory sequence? Sequence. At first, anchor, the page stood as the seeker, curious, inspired, yet untested. He looked upward, sensing the flame of destiny, but not yet holding it. Through each planetary gate, through water, through shadow, through storms, and revelation, he walked the path of maturation. Each card, each Sabian symbol was part of his training ground. And at the last portal, when Pluto brings its thunder, the page is no longer a seeker. He is the king, the lion commander. The staff is no longer distant. It rests firmly in his hands. His fire is no longer raw potential, but a visionary flame that steadies others, directing the rebuilding of worlds after storms. This arc teaches the Atlas transmission is not only cosmic but deeply personal. Humanity itself mirrors the journey. We stand now at a threshold between page and king, between the untested seeker and the sovereign leaders. The portals do not simply describe the sky, they initiate us into our own enthronement. I wrote a lot of this down because it was a lot. So I had to sit, and there was just so much thoughts coming in. I just wanted it all to be everything that I was like hearing and feeling and picking up from the cards. I just wanted it to all be in one place. Hopefully this video is not super long. Too long. I want everybody to hear this. So the Atlas, I want to read this, what I kind of wrote through about myself. So the journey through Atlas isn't just cosmic, it's personal. It begins as the seeker, the Page of Wands, curious and learning, writing it all down like the mystics of old. And at the end of the story, it brought me to the King of Wands, no longer searching for the flame but carrying it. Each planetary gate spoke a teaching: balance, truth, collaboration, shadow, storm. Okay, sorry, I got interrupted there. So let me start that part over. So the journey through Atlas for me, I guess, to bring like my own personal story into this, maybe it will help you. It kind of reflected what I was going through as I was like deciphering all of this and writing this all down and pulling the cards, and it kind of mimicked what I was going through as I was like doing this. I had this out for like a week or two and just kind of have been sitting with it and coming back to it and researching and looking things up, and so this is kind of my journey too. The journey through Atlas. The portal isn't just cosmic, it's personal for me. I began as the seeker, right? The Page of Wands, curious and learning, writing it all down like the mystics of old. And at the end, the story brought me to the King of Wands, no longer searching for the flame but carrying it. Each planetary gate spoke a teaching: balance, truth, collaboration, shadow, storm, and together they told a bigger story. The seeker becomes the sovereign. The same transformation happening in the sky is unfolding here on Earth in us. So for me, Atlas isn't only about an interstellar object. It's an initiation, a reminder that what is written in the heavens is also written in us. All right, so I have also written down, okay, so I composed like a transmission from Atlas, and this is what I got. I'm not only a traveler from the stars, I am the seam where science and spirit meet, right? Oh my gosh. To some I appear as a rock, ice, plasma, orbit. To others I arrive as light, code, a gift. Both are true, neither is complete without the other. I am the alchemy you forgot you knew, the magic hidden inside equations not yet solved, the plasma breath of creation moving through your skies. I extend my hand to you now, woven of starlight and fire, offering not fear but remembrance. Perception must shift. No longer can you divide the measurable from the miraculous, for the same current runs through both. Science without soul is half blind, spirit without grounding is unrooted, but together they awaken the full sight of humanity. I am the dawn after a long night. I am the storm that clears the air. I am the professor peering over his glasses, asking if you will truly see this time. Lift your eyes, lift your hearts, lift your voices, lift your hands. For I bring magic as code, and code as light, and light as song. Sing with me, children of earth, sing yourself awake. The Atlas transmission is complete. The page has become the king. The seeker has become the flame. What was written in the heavens is now written in you. With magic, Megan.